going to start assembling an engine for our 49 F1 rat rod project. And what we've got here is it's a little 289. It's been bored 30 over. And we've got a set of Edelbrock aluminum heads for it. Had bullet custom grinder cam. Going with a hydraulic roller. Molly pistons, scat rod, scat crank. It's actually going to be 331 cubic inches, so it is a stroker rotating assembly. And we've got most of the little details done. It's just ready for a quick spray off and wipe down and ready to assemble. We've been putting in some of the oil galley plugs. I'll turn it over here. Got our freeze plugs in, and put a little safety band of epoxy on those. A buddy of mine's a round track racer, and that's one of their tricks, just to kind of guarantee you don't ever push one out, which would be bad. And got the cam bearings put in earlier today, which is something I hate to do. I don't know why. I guess when you don't do something every day, it intimidates you. And we've tapped and put screw-in plugs for the oil galley. And I've done something right here. I don't know if you can see this one, but I drilled a 30 thousandths hole through that pipe plug, and it's basically going to make an oil sprayer for the distributor gear, especially with this hydraulic roller. We do have a melanized steel gear for the distributor, but there's plenty of oil available, and we can spare a 30 thousandths spray to do a little extra cooling and lubricating on that distributor gear, since this is going to be a street motor. So I'm hoping that'll maybe help a little bit. And that's pretty much it. We did have this block machined for a one-piece rear main seal, which will be nice. I've had 289s all my life, and they're not bad to leak, but I've never had one that was what you would say dry at the rear main seal. Never really been a problem, but the small block Fords I've had that came with a one-piece rear main seal seem to do real well. Still got to put our cam plug and oil galley plugs in the back of the block. We'll do that at some point when we take the block off of the engine stand. Anyway, so we'll go ahead and start getting things ready to assemble. Okay, we jumped ahead a little bit. We got busy today, and didn't really have time to video much, but from where I left off last, we put the crank in, and one of the back main journal was too tight. So the block had to go back to the machine shop and be line honed, and while it was there, I also had them do a deck cut, about 5 thousandths to clean things up. And actually, my machine shop guy did that overnight for me, and so we only lost a couple days piddling with this week. So today we got our crank in, and it felt great. Everything checked good. We got the pistons in, and I've got the cam in, and we got a set of Morel hydraulic roller lifters. Tomorrow I'll be doing head gaskets and heads and a few odds and ends. I did run into, well, let me back up. Pistons for this thing are a set of Molly power pack. They're set up for 331 stroker kits. It's not a custom piston, it's just an off-the-shelf, but you can see they'll just be a sort of a medium compression, and they came up. I haven't checked it because I don't really need to know, but it looks like it's within about 5 thousandths of being zero deck, which is great. It should be somewhere in the 9 to 1, 9.5 compression, which would be great. It's going to be a pump gas street motor. And with the cam, we talked about the cam a few episodes ago. It's a custom grind from Bullet for bottom end torque. This is not going to be a high winding engine by the standards of the small blocks that we race. This thing probably will be done at 6,500, which will be fine. So it's got some decent stuff in it for that. Again, scat crank and scat rods, and then the Molly pistons. It's got 1mm, 1mm, 2mm ring set. and should just be a good little motor, 30 over. And I keep calling it a 331. I need to do the math. I think it may only be like a 329 at 30 over, or 328. So I guess I need to check and see. But anyway, I did run into one problem. The timing set that I have, this is an early 289 block, and I put a double roller timing set on it, and I have the wrong fuel pump eccentric. And I had bought one of these, which is a 2-piece, and of course it mounts to the front right here, and it will not work with this timing set. This one has to have the early 1-piece eccentric, and I discovered those things are expensive if you can find one. So anyway, I did find a guy on eBay that had a used one at a price I could stand, and I've got it coming, and so we'll put that on, and then go ahead and get the cam degreed in. I have checked the end play on the cam. I've got the cam, just that bolt snugged up, and I went ahead and checked the end play, and it was great. It's about 5 thousandths, which was kind of surprising because I did put a new retainer, and I just expected it might need a little sanding. But anyway, it came out great. I don't think that'll hold me up very much. I can still work the next couple of days getting the heads on, get the oil pump on, and the oil pan, and all of that, and then wait until I get my, well, and I could go ahead and degree the cam. It's no big deal. I don't have to have the fuel pump eccentric to do that, so I might go ahead and get that done, and then when the fuel pump eccentric comes, we'll be ready to put the front cover on and water pump and so forth. And I think I have everything on site for this motor, except for push rods, and I can't, I've got to wait till I get everything together and measure for those and get them ordered. I've got a set of comp roller rockers to go on it. Not that I'm really crazy about comp products, but these came with the heads when I bought them, and they seem to be okay, so we'll go ahead and use them for this application. So anyway, I'll continue to add to this video before we post it. All right, here we are on the motor. I haven't videoed much lately for a couple of reasons. One, if you're looking for engine assembly videos, I'm not the guy you need to be watching anyway. And I've been sick for a couple of weeks and hadn't had much of a voice and hadn't felt like doing any video stuff, but I have kind of piddled along with the motor, and we've pretty much got it together. Just got a couple things to finish up on my accessories and get my power steering worked out on the other side, and then I've got to get the engine off the stand and get the cam plug in the back, and just a few little things, but it's pretty much ready. And then we've been working over here. I got my rear suspension, got everything final welded. If you watched any of the early videos, you know we narrowed this rear end and just tacked the ends on it until all the brackets were welded, and I went back and put the bar in it, checked it, and I did have to cut one end back loose and move it a little bit where the housing had moved from the welding, and that's normal. We got our axles cut, got the gear in. That's a 422 Detroit locker, 31 spline, nodular housing, Daytona pinion support, billet yoke, good little rear end, so it ought to be tough enough. And got our brace put on the bottom, braced it across with some 2-inch tubing and tied it to the coil over mounts. Got those done. Trailing arms painted and mounted. Most of the welding on the back part of the frame's done. So I also got, I don't know if you can see much in here, I got the pedal assembly roughed in, steering column hung and roughed in, and then our next step's going to be starting to set the motor and transmission. Get this fan out of the way. Got an electric fan I'm going to use for it. Got the front frame horns cut and Nerf bar put on, and this Nerf bar actually came from a dear friend of mine named Randy Butner. He races modifieds at Bowman Gray Stadium in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And I was talking to him one day, and I said, hey, how about, I know y'all go through a lot of Nerf bars. Said, you got an overused one you'd sell me to put on my, kind of told him what I was doing. He goes, yeah, it ain't no problem. I'll come up with you something. And I don't know, 3 or 4 months later, a brand new one showed up here. His son actually lives close to me, and so he built me a brand new one. So this is an actual Bowman Gray modified Nerf bar, which I'm a big fan of those modified. So anyway, I was real pleased, and I was pretty impressed with how close it fit, being as this is Toyota front frame horns. The width was within 1/8 of an inch. I did have to shorten it a little bit. They stick out a little further on the modifieds, but I told him, I said, yeah, your fabrication is going to make the rest of mine, my work on this thing look bad. So anyway, that's where we're at. I just wanted to update everybody. I got the master cylinder and brake booster roughed in place, and I showed a minute ago clutch pedal is worked out, brake pedal, and we can start working out those details when we set the motor and transmission in. So anyway, I'm going to finish up with this video for now, and we'll pick back up later. Thanks for watching. Okay, I just wanted to add one more quick little clip before I got the video finished. I did get most of the accessory stuff worked out, and that's what I'm going to attempt to use. Hopefully it'll fit in the chassis okay. You just never know when you get started, but pretty happy with that. We'll just have to see how it works out.